Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jazakumullah, we've got brother Amar Khalid here with us today, and we are back with another professional webinar session. I'll just briefly introduce brother Amar. He's, I guess, essentially our IT guru for Khuddam-Ul-Ahmadiyya, also serving as Marvin Sadr as well, and he's a tech guy. So we'll just dive right into it. We'll ask brother Amar. First of all, Jazakallah for being here today, brother Amar. And if you don't mind telling us how you started your professional career.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I'm originally from Lahore, and I did my FSc as anyone would do, aspiring to be an engineer. So I applied in UAT Lahore. I got admission in computer science. I was not so happy about it. I got the admission. When I went in, it was already mid of the semester. But the thing that I learned from my parents was, whatever you do it from your hand, and you need to make sure that you're putting your best effort. So I started getting hold of computer science, and midway through pivoted into engineering side of things. Passed out from the UAT in 2007. While I was in uni, I got the offer from Anglo Innovative. Now it's called Avencion. It was automation, IT plus automation company.
Okay.
That experience didn't go well because I came from pure software engineering, software development background, and that was a mix. I think my degree had a lot to do with it. Then I quit that job without having the next job, and then I found a new one, which was in Techlogix. Techlogix at the time and still is considered Microsoft of Pakistan.
Sorry, what was it? What did you say?
Techlogix.
Okay.
Techlogix.
Okay, Techlogix. Okay.
Yeah, so the co-founders of that company, they were MIT graduates, and they started their company from MIT, and they got most of their projects from US. I stayed in that company. I started as a software engineer, and then I went to sort of a client project in Christian Bahman, very close to Rabba in Pindi Bhatia. So I stayed there for a couple of years. That sort of gave me a lot of exposure of the domestic side of IT industry of Pakistan, where everyone is speaking Punjabi and they don't even understand what they're doing. And they kept on saying, take your boxes and go back home. Because they were all like very old, 50, 55 plus, and they didn't want that change because they had that perception, and as people have today, that AI is going to take their jobs. They had the perception if these systems come, the system's going to change, sort of take away their jobs. So what
was your role there, Amar Bhai, in that particular job? Were you also a software engineer there?
I was software engineer because I was sent by Techlogix to that company and developed that application while being there.
Okay.
So I stayed there for 3 years. And in the meanwhile, 28th of May happened. And that was the only Friday actually I missed in Daruzika. I actually was told to go to Pindi Bhatia for 1 day. And interestingly enough, I got sick. I didn't even work on that day. Yeah. And I was sitting in Pindi Bhatia in the office room, and we were talking that nothing has happened in probably in few months in Lahore, because it was very active zone at the time. And immediately the news flash came in that Qadiani mosque, they're attacked. Though they didn't even use the word mosque, about the God got attacked, places of worships. And my father was there in Daruzika. And I didn't know what to do. And I talked to my father and he said, don't call me now, just keep on praying and we'll talk, inshallah. I traveled back home, and that was the only time, and everyone knew that I was an MD.
Yeah.
And
so you're talking 2010 for our viewers that don't know. In 2010, 28th of May, 2 of the mosques in Lahore were attacked by multiple terrorists who pretty much gunshot close to 100 people in our Jamaat. So Brother Amar is talking about that experience. Okay, so
I came back home. My father, he walked from Daruzika to home. We used to live in the Kent area, so he actually walked probably 8-10 kilometers. Barefooted, he came back. Not a single injury. Alhamdulillah, he came back home, but he saw many people embrace martyrdom at that time. And that sort of changed my perspective. And then I started looking into sort of going in, apply for immigration. So I initially applied for New Zealand and then applied for Australia. My father told me, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think like a lot of Ahmadis back in Pakistan, that was a turning point.
Yeah.
Okay, so by that point, Amar bhai, how many years of professional experience have you had as a software engineer in the IT industry or tech industry?
That was almost 3 years.
3 years.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I applied for Australian immigration, and I still had a couple of years to get enough points. So I had to spend a couple of more years, or get IELTS 9. So a person from my background, coming from government school, it was really hard.
Forget about it.
So
I still haven't gotten a 9 IELTS. So after 13 years being in Australia.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually did spend a couple of more years from Technologies. I went to another company because Technologies, all the people knew that I'm an MD now. So they started there was hidden sort of opinions. But company had a policy: if you see any religious harassment come forward, that person will be fired, no questions asked. I didn't complain about anyone. I switched the job, went to another one, and meanwhile, Australian immigration happened. So I came to Australia on Australian skilled immigration in 2014.
Okay, about 4 years. 4
It
years
took me. Yeah. So it took me 4 years. I think 1 year I wasted on New Zealand, and after that, Australia. So New Zealand didn't go anywhere. Gladly enough.
So, their loss was our gain.
Yeah. So I came in 2014 with my family. At the time, I had 6 years experience working purely as a software engineer. At the time, I was working as a principal software engineer. People who know there's a progression in software engineering career, like you go software engineer, senior software engineer, then you become a principal software engineer.
Okay.
Working in Pakistan is fairly quick because you have an exposure with US-based companies, so your learning curve is very steep.
Okay.
So I was working with Silicon Valley companies at the time because most of the exposure back in Pakistan is with Silicon-based companies.
Yeah.
So then when I came here, I started as a software engineer again. You get a job there's no concept of principal software engineer, most of the companies in Australia. And if you work in the corporate sector, they don't have those career paths. So you become need-based. For example, you become Java developer. Java is a technology that most of the tech guys are familiar with. We use Java for developing software applications. So I started as a Java developer in Fujifilm. At the time, it was called Fuji Xerox. And I think end of 2014, I sort of progressed to become senior developer. But because I only came for 8-10 months because my wife still she's a doctor by profession, so she still had a house job to do. Yeah. So I went back to Pakistan for a year. She completed her house job in Thailand. Yeah, wow. So I went back for a year. My wife, she started her house job in Fazl Umar and in Thai. She did a year there, and she also did work with Mirza Sultan Ahmed Saab as he's a pediatrician. She worked, and then we came back to Australia in 2015, end of 2015 again. And then her journey started and my journey started. So I rejoined Fujifilm again. So since then I'm in Fujifilm. So it has gone from Fuji Xerox to Fujifilm DMS. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So you're a loyal employee of
as long as to anyone watching, I have a criteria. So when I decide to switch a company, it's based on 3 things. You need to have good earning, good atmosphere, good learning. Yeah. At one time, I need to have 2 check boxes ticked.
2 of the 3.
If there is, out of the 3, I need to tick all the time. Yeah. So if I have a good atmosphere, good learning, I'll stick. If there's only earning, I'll switch. Yeah. So that's been my criteria, and I think it's just the puzzle of Allah Ta'ala that I got the opportunity. I've seen people working in Fujifilm for last 35 years. They're stuck with one position. Yeah. I've progressed from when I rejoined again as a software developer or as a Java developer. Then I progressed from Java developer to senior Java developer to technical lead. And then I became the enterprise architect, which is sort of the technical head of the department.
Okay. Okay.
But the only thing is that one or more enterprise architects focusing on certain domains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
please keep going.
Yeah, so with enterprise architect, I'm pretty sure most of the guys who are from the industry, they know the focus is on one or many products. When combined, they deliver enterprise value. So it could be, for example, in Khuddam-Ul-Ahmadiyya, you got Tajneed department, and then you got your finance department. Both of these departments need to come together to produce a good outcome for Khuddam-Ul-Ahmadiyya.
Yeah.
So that's the enterprise view. How we link these two together to produce a good outcome for Majlis Khuddam-Ul-Ahmadiyya. So that's a kind of view you need to have while working as an enterprise architect. You're working on these three platforms, how you can bring these together to deliver a business outcome. So it's a business plus technical exposure.
Yeah, that's good. Just going to a bit more basic level, Amar Bhai. So obviously when you came, you had quite a few years of experience behind you, and I would imagine you probably did not have too much trouble finding a job in your field. But for brothers coming either as fresh graduates from Pakistan or locally graduate university students who do software engineering, what are the prospects in your field at the moment for getting a job?
Prospects are really high. It's just that you need to adapt, because if you go back in time, probably 2 years, anyone who would come from a computer science background, maybe have a year or two experience, they would get a job as standard software engineer would get. Because in our industry or in computer science, you don't need to have an accreditation. For example, engineers, they do need to have a license, or doctors, they need to pass exams and all that. We don't have to, because that's a global skill, and you don't need to have specific Australian version of that.
Okay, yeah, I understood.
Right? And the other thing that you need to understand when coming at the computer science from Pakistan or India, you might find that Australian industry lags behind a bit.
Yeah.
And that's true. Most of it comes from the laid back attitude. When system is working, why touch it?
Yeah.
Let it work. So, and you might find that you have gone back in time.
Yeah. Okay.
But with the emergence of AI, that's, if you come to today, when you're focusing on your career, trying to get a job, try to understand and learn about AI and how it's impacting your field. Because I do hear a lot that AI is going to take or evolve or likely take the jobs away of the developers. Because you can generate code, build applications using AI. And that's to some extent true, but that's not a full story. You still need to have a lot of knowledge as a software engineer to be able to develop a good product using AI as well. So sort of familiarize yourself with AI, what's going on in the industry, and keep up to date, what's going on currently at the moment. Because a common man would know from a certain perspective, okay, there's Gen AI, you can use ChatGPT to ask certain questions and all that. That ChatGPT or LLM is stuck in time to a point where it was trained. Now is the time when you use ChatGPT think of it as a human mind, which knows about a certain thing, but may not have the full knowledge of it. Then the new terminology that's coming in is called agentic AI. What's that? You need to be able to understand all of that. Go and find courses on Coursera, RA. Go on YouTube. Go to Udemy, a plural site. Find courses. Understand the jargon and start speaking the jargon. Start using those words in the interviews.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so the things have evolved. I think they're evolving fairly quick. I read a research probably a few months ago, when the Industrial Revolution came. It took almost 50 years to sort of propagate half of the US population. When TV came and radio came, that took probably 30, 40 years to penetrate half of the US population. When information age came, which is the internet and all that, it took 20 years to sort of penetrate. With AI, it took 2 years.
Yeah, the things are moving very rapidly.
very rapidly, people don't have time to adapt. It's going in so fast. So you need to be able to adapt quickly.
So adaptability is a very, very good skill to have. Amar, but AI is a very, very interesting field. I'm very personally interested in that as well. And my YouTube feed is filled with AI stuff at the moment. So we will talk about a little bit more about AI in a second, but I just want to take a step back. And I know you haven't done your formal like bachelor's degree here, but for our Khuddam brothers who are in high school at the moment, thinking of a tech career, what are some of the degrees you are aware of that you would recommend them to do as a stepping stone, and what are some of the fields that you would maybe ask them to steer away from because of a future lesser prospect in those fields?
With computer science, so primarily I deal with, in my job as well, I deal with undergrads a lot. I've got a new department called AI and Digital, and I lead that department, and I'm looking to sort of hire some undergrads from UNSW, because that's the partnership we got.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just the timing that we just had a meeting 3 days ago with the faculty of UNSW Computer Science Department. And they propose us certain streams. So primarily bachelor's in IT. I know we had a good undergrad from UTS. Computer science, bachelor's in computer science.
Sorry, what is UTS?
University of Technology, Sydney.
Oh, technology. Okay, yeah. Okay, but what degrees is specifically?
Bachelor's of IT.
IT, yeah.
But that is very applied, if that makes sense. Very applied. Bachelor's of computer science. If it comes to me, if I have to hire somebody, I'll hire a computer science over an IT.
Right. Okay.
Because the computer science guy would know in depth a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah.
IT comes from very superficial, but more applied.
Okay. Yeah.
They will have more hands-on.
Okay.
So, and there is a bachelor of software engineering as well. That's a mix of IT plus computer science. Bit of theory, bit of hands-on, but focused more on the industry-specific stuff, if that makes sense. So these are the 3 streams we look for.
Yeah.
If you get into all of these things, and then you got like multiple branches. So people go become software engineers. They become quality engineers, which is in any engineering field, you have an actual engineer, and then you have a quality engineer who looks at and does the quality checks. So we also have the same software engineer and the software quality engineer. And then you got DevOps. DevOps is like development and operations combined, where you do the development and then you do the operation. Operations is where you deploy the application. So that's a new not upcoming now. It's been there for like 5-7 years. So people go there as well. And DevOps we get a lot of interest in DevOps. Whoever, when they join the company, they would want to do that kind of stuff because they don't have to do core software development, and they don't have to go core support or quality engineering. DevOps is a good mix. And then understanding of cloud, what cloud is, and all of that I think it's very important. Yeah.
Okay.
So to a very basic level, I think. And then people also go towards networking, computer networking as well. Yeah.
Okay. And for a high school student, again, let's say they're in year 9, 10, or 11, and they're trying to figure out whether, IT or AI or computer science is a field for them. What are, if there is any opportunities to do either small courses or certain subjects that they can do to actually get a bit of an idea of the field and whether this is something for them?
I'll suggest sort of do programming wherever you can, and in your subject, select programming. It could be any language. There's no specific language, any language, but do hands-on programming. Don't use AI if you are in year 9 and 10 as much. Try to do hands-on.
Yeah.
When we were growing up in this field, I always felt people who did their computer science back in 90s, they know things in and out because they did in C, very machine level languages, and they pick up concepts like that. And now when you start using AI, you won't have the in-depth knowledge. So when you're in year 9, 10, focus on the core skills
Yeah.
and use it for your own benefit.
Mhm.
I think I think there's a really good in high schools in Sharia, they have that exposure. Students have that exposure and
Yeah.
ability to select as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And now, having, explained a little bit about various degrees, you spoke about, bachelor's in IT, computer science, software engineering. If someone
Yeah.
is very focused into, I guess, progressing in a generative AI or AI field, what degrees and what kind of units specifically, or areas specifically would you recommend them to, or the path
Yeah.
you would recommend them to take?
When I did my bachelor's, even at the time there was AI course.
Really?
Yeah. So I
Wow.
did my bachelor's in 2007, and
Mhm.
I picked up the course. It was artificial intelligence, flat artificial intelligence.
Right.
And people don't know, but they have been using AI for many years.
Mhm.
Uh, for example, robots, computer vision. Computer vision is a form of AI. So
Mhm.
AI would be there in every course,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So you need to first understand from the very basic what AI is,
Mhm.
and then I went in. I think when I went back to Pakistan in 14, then I taught. I was a lab assistant in UAT for 6 months as well. I did that as a
Yeah.
volunteer because it's sort of a giving back to the
To
uni.
the
So
community. Yeah.
I went to the uni. Yeah, spent some time in the AI lab as well. Um, but UAT was stuck in the time. They're still going through the same things, which I sort of went through back in 2006. So
Mhm.
every uni would have AI. Just do that course, but information is out there,
Yeah.
right? Everything is available, and pick up courses online. Develop.
Yeah.
For for example, I picked up a course probably a couple of weeks ago. It was called AI and Agentic AI for Leaders, and I picked
Mhm.
up from Coursera, RA, and
Course,
it's one of the
course RA. Is that a website?
it's a website. It's
Okay.
called coursera.org, and they most of the top universities they offer different courses.
Yeah.
I pick up courses randomly from there uh, of my interest, do a full course, full unit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and you also get credits as well, and you use those for your own
Yeah.
uni courses too.
Mhm.
So explore that. You don't have to stick to uni courses if you're not offered. But if you want to do something within the AI realm,
Mhm.
go to Coursera, go to Udemy, go to Pluralsight, and pick up courses. There's no limitation. It's just everything is out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
you said, just so our viewers who are not aware of these platforms, Udemy, how do you spell that?
Udemy.
Udemy is one of the areas or online
It's a
course
platform.
academies, I believe.
It's a
Yeah,
platform.
platform where
Yeah.
they can do certain courses. And what was the other ones you were mentioning?
Pluralsight. Pluralsight.
Pluraral, plural
Yes.
site,
Site.
SIT,
Yeah. Yeah.
plural, plural as in PLURL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
I spelled it as PLEURL because
Oh,
from
okay.
my profession there is something called
Oh, yeah.
plural in the body
All
in the body,
right.
and that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Okay, plural
yeah.
site. I can see there's online courses on plural site as well. Are these all are there free courses in there? Or are they all
Yeah.
paid? And
You might get some free courses, but
yeah,
majority of them are not. You need a subscription, but you can get a student subscription as well.
okay,
And I think I'm pretty sure unis do sponsor that.
good allow that. Okay, perfect.
Uh,
That's good.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, That's very good. Speaking a little bit more about AI, can you
Yeah.
explain to us what your role in
Mm,
AI? You spoke a little bit about enterprise architect and stuff like that. For
yeah.
someone who is from a non-technical background like myself, it just goes over my
It goes
head.
on.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
explain that to us a little bit more in detail, what your role is
Yeah.
at the moment and where the field is heading in future.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been recently promoted from enterprise architect to principal architect of AI and digital. Uh, the company specifically mentioned AI in my title, which means
Mhm.
just to showcase that we are focusing towards AI.
Mhm.
Background of all of that is why I got that. So we got a platform in Fuji. It's a messaging platform where people can go and do self-service, send messages, start SMS campaigns, and all that. And probably 6-8 months ago, I found a use case where if I have to design an SMS, why can't we use, and Gen AI was just coming in at the time. Why can't we use Gen AI to read, to sort of create marketing messages or to create reminders and then proofread? And we put guardrails around that so that instead of user thinking about a message, they can use AI, and we charge our customers for using the credits because we are getting charged to use those services. And also it gives the ability to translate into different languages. For example, from English to Japanese, Japanese to back in English. Why Japanese? Because Fuji is a Japanese, Japan-based company. And there are other languages from German to Japanese, all use AI services to do that. And then there was a use case to proofread, spell check, and all. So that was a very initial use case, nothing fancy, just LLMs. That was showcased to the Japanese delegation who was visiting Australia. They loved it, and then that's where the company thought, okay, we can spend a bit more time in AI and maybe do some investments.
Yeah, right.
So my sort of formula of automation, and that's not because of AI, from probably last 8-10 years, is if I have to do anything manually twice, I don't want to do that a third time.
Yeah.
So that's the use case of AI for me. That's a use case of AI. If I have to do things manually, I need something which can, so that I can automate that thing.
Yeah.
Anyone watching or will watch, they need to also think that way. If they're doing a business, if you're in a field, just think of anything that you're doing manually right now. For example, producing Excel files, CSVs, all that. Find a way to do that using AI. That will build your, number one, build your skill, will try to give you, and will also give you ideas what you can automate. So that's what I started thinking about in my company. And I proposed a couple of ideas to my MD as well. For example, Fujifilm is in document business, data business.
Yeah.
And the idea that I proposed that we get the documents, and then we hire a lot of staff, temporary staff, to do the classification. They look at the documents and they say, okay, this is a bill, this is an invoice, and this is a payslip, this is a tax assessment, and all that. That's a security breach as well, because people are watching somebody else's document and they're tagging those documents, right? So
yeah,
I went and proposed, and we discussed, okay, why can't we use AI
to do that? Yeah.
To do that? I know there'll be people whose jobs will go, but it's just an exploration. And 3-4 months ago, I started working with a platform. I used AI to develop that platform using AI.
Yeah.
So I did my coding and all that. And we developed that platform probably in 2 weeks. There was a client which was interested. We showcased to that client. They got very interested. They said, give it to us. We'll run our use cases. And we saved internally around probably $100,000 from one client, because we saved so many hours.
Yeah. Hours of labor work.
Yeah. So that is more business oriented use case. Right? Now, in my field, where it's heading, and now there are many opportunities within business which can be automated. In my field, where it's heading is, and that's my vision internally, and that's why I launched my own company as well, focusing on those things. That I want to have AI agents. That's where it's heading right now.
Yeah.
Who is expert, let's say, in a language called Java. And I can write my feature, my product, in a big prompt, and I can give it to that agent. That agent goes away for hours, develops that product. It first gives me a plan. This is the plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is the platform I'm going to deploy to. Do you agree with all of that? Yes, I agree with all of that. Go into it. I wake up in the morning. I'll check that platform is up and running in cloud. So that's where it's heading.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Right? Yeah. So that's called agentic AI. And so what agentic AI is, and I talked to my wife about it as well, that think of LLMs are as human brain. So if I talk to a GP that I have a stomach pain and it's been going on for last 6 months, and I've been coming to you, can you refer me to a specialist? And that GP will write me a referral letter, and I go and go to the specialist. That GP for me is LLM, Gen AI, because that GP knows what I'm talking about, but doesn't know the answer. But if I force that GP to give me an answer, that GP will make up a story and satisfy me. And that's what is called, with LLM, we associate a term called hallucination. If you force an LLM to give you an answer, it will hallucinate. It will build up stories.
Make up an answer.
Make up an answer. That's where you need to be very careful about. Because any output produced by an LLM is not reality. Right? So to solve that problem, what that LLM needs to do, okay, I don't know the answer, but I know that person who knows the answer. Okay, let me give your question to that person, and that person is an agent. That person doesn't have any AI capabilities. It takes the question and goes, okay, I know these 4 people. That's what we call MCP. That's an AI specific term. It's a model context protocol. That is called knowledge base as well. Has a specific knowledge for that specific field. That agent will go and ask that, and it will give the answer, actual answer, and then slide back to LLM. Okay. Just like a specialist, when you see a specialist, it writes back to your GP. So it's going to write back to the LLM that this is the outcome. What that LLM is going to do, match it with your question and tailor it to what you want. So LLM is not giving the answer. It's coming back from the specialist, and it's going to make it human-like for you too, so that it makes sense to you. For me, that GP special analogy works really well.
Yeah. For me as well.
Yeah, it works really well for me. And it's easy for me to explain, because I have usually have a lot of my chats with my wife. So that makes
that's perfectly explained.
easier for me. Yeah. So that's where it's heading, like agentic AI, which does very specific tasks. So my vision for my own company is I want to have a software developer agent, a QA agent, a CTO agent, which is a chief technology officer agent, a project manager agent. I have my idea in my mind. I give the idea to that thing, and it comes back, develops a product, puts to internet, and it's live, up and running. And I did that a week ago. So I was able to give my requirements, and it went, developed it, came back, and deployed. So
give us an example of what kind of command and what kind of project that was, just for our understanding.
So I won't be able to fully disclose that, but but at the moment it's still in development phase. So I started with a very small use case. So generally people have different kinds of credit cards. So that was my own problem. That I have a card from bank A and I have a card from bank B, and I lose track of where my expenses are at, because this is a different bank, this is a different bank. They're not giving me my expense bucket, a common dashboard where I can see I spent this much on groceries, this much in that particular, let's say, shopping. So I came back with an idea. Okay, let me develop a quick one. That's not the actual idea that I wanted to. That's a different one. But most of my ideas are my own problems. So this was my problem. I want to see a common dashboard across different banks. So I gave us 500 lines prompt to my agent. So that prompt was, who am I and who that agent is. That agent is a software developer agent. That's the context set. Product that I want to develop is this product. It needs to have a dashboard. I want buckets. I want trends of my spending. The last month I spent this much. This month I'm going towards that sort of trajectory. And I want a list of another tab with a list of transactions. I want you to tag each of the transaction with a specific source, for example, Combank, Westpac, whatever. Right. So, and I also want you to allow me to add categories. And then I used LLM agent, not agentic, but Gen AI, behind the scenes. So when I upload a transaction, it goes automatically maps a transaction to a particular category.
Yeah.
Because banks in transaction have a weird way of telling you in the transaction it's calls or it's say some website. You won't be able to categorize it, right? So it's really hard to
Yeah.
categorize that. So I gave all of that instruction. I spent like an hour building that prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave it to my agent. I said, divide that into phases. Divide that into phases in a way that phase 1 has 10 tasks, phase 2 has 15 tasks, and give me the plan and ask for my approval. It's very important how you build the prompt with
Yeah.
the Gen AI.
Yeah.
You need to be. It's called inverse prompting. Inverse prompting is don't write a prompt that way that okay, tell me the steps to do task A, B, C. It's going to give you 15 steps. Now you're going to go back and start going through. Always write in a way that it needs to wait for you to give an output. For example, the way I write my prompts is, okay, I need to fix my car. It has an oil problem. Give me a step-by-step guide. At the end of each step, ask for a snapshot or a picture as an output, and only then proceed to the next step. So it becomes agentic in a way. So it takes the input and then goes to the next step, and then takes the input, goes to the next step. So I do the same. So I ask you to divide into phases, divide into tasks, and give me a plan, complete plan. And once it gave me the plan, I said, only stick yourself to phase 1, only stick yourself to task A, and come back and take my input. Right? And then I have specific MCPs that I attach to my agent, that this is the knowledge base, so that you don't start hallucinating.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So it went, built that thing, probably took an hour, and asked for my input. And I looked at it. I asked it to do a few more changes the way it looks. Then went back again. It took 5-6 hours to complete the phase 1. And I'm telling you that phase 1, if I've gone to a developer and asked for an estimate, it would have been 4 months, bare minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
one
unreal.
developer, 4 months. Yeah. So it's going at that sort of pace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you spoke about your own startup there, Marbai, which is, I believe, One Sophia Labs. What inspired you? You briefly spoke about it was kind of your own problems that triggered you to make certain agents or use the help of agents and stuff like that. But what kind of was the trigger for you to start your own venture? And what advice would you have for your listeners in thinking about starting their own businesses as to how they can take that step?
It's a very, very good question. So it takes me back probably 15 years ago when I started thinking about it. It's always that fear of failure that comes in the way, and you don't know where to start. And then I have been thinking about it, but never took a step.
Yeah.
Then I went to Stanford. That changed my perspective about a lot of things, and one of that was this as well. That you should not be afraid of failures. You need to take a step. You need to have 100 failures to have one success. And that one success is enough. People who don't have failures, they don't have stories to tell.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So you need to have a strong experience, and experience comes from failure. People who are facing success all the time, they're not resilient. They go into depression and all that. So you need to have a failure, strong resilience. So Stanford sort of told me that, or sort of taught me that if you have an idea, go and implement that. It doesn't really matter whether it's you'll find out whether so either there is learning or success, or you take, and then you take next step. So that was a trigger point, because I went there and I came back inspired because there was a lot of venture capitalists and all that, and they were like talking about startups and how people are sort of money is not a factor. The factor is like how you are building something which satisfies you. And the other thing that I learned was in my design thinking subject was you need to target a user problem. And if you can resonate with that problem, that problem, if you solve it, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Right. So I have my own experiences from traveling, from all personal experiences. I have different set of problems, and then AI came, and AI gave me a lot of power that I don't have to go and start getting funding of hundreds and thousands of dollars to
Yeah.
build a team to develop. Now AI
Yeah.
I can buy a subscription of any agentic tool for $200. Then I can write my own agents using that, which can do the stuff that for which I had to pay like $15,000-$20,000 maybe in a month.
Yeah.
So AI gave that empowerment, and that's a lesson for everyone. Even big companies are scared at the moment because in Australia, because now smaller companies, small startups, they're going to come and solve business problems for which they have been charging hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Give us an example of that. Give us an example of that.
For example,
Something comes to mind.
That the classification example where we have that use case, Fujifilm does the classification of documents.
Oh yeah.
Fujifilm used to be the only one. So my MD, he said to me that if we don't solve that problem now, somebody's going to come, build that solution, and we won't get this business, because the companies who don't care about regulation, they won't care about cost, and they won't care about where their platform runs, as long as it solves their problem. Without naming a client, they send their documents to India for classification. So people look at documents of Sharians, and they classify, and it comes back, obviously over the skills channel. But yeah, so that's what's happening. So I think big companies, they're also scared. The smaller startups are going to come and solve those problems. And
absolutely. And I apologize, Amarba, if I'm going back, but just to deepen our understanding and just have clear guidelines for our listeners, if you could go back to university days, knowing what you know now, where the field is heading, and where the future is, what would you do differently in terms of skills or networking or career choices? If you could shed some light on that, so our listeners can take away some key points and how they can progress the quickest, I believe.
I think it's an evolution, but there's another saying that you don't have to make those mistakes that we made, and you can get a heads up as well. So,
absolutely.
So what I felt that I could have done differently was being more proactive. More proactive in a way, I shouldn't have delayed my certain decisions that I made later on. I should have taken them early. For example, looking to start something. I had ideas back then as well, during my uni days, but I never materialized. And people went and they did, and they made they built them into really good companies. I have my class fellows who had ideas. They went on to develop those ideas, and now they have like multi-million-dollar companies. It's just about taking that first step. I think it's just a background where I come from. Like it's like more achhi job mil jaye, all that. Kind of mentality. It takes a while. It takes a while to take that step. Okay, I need to start taking more risks. In terms of what I want to do, that would be the thing that I would do differently. Being more proactive, and take that decision. If you have a passion, take that decision. Probably do it on the sideline. My formula is, if I have, let's say I earn XYZ amount in a year. If I earn 70% or 50% of that from my initiative, I'll take it full time.
Yeah, that's very good.
And take a risk. Take a risk with that.
Yeah.
So I would do that thing probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amar bhai, let's say we've got some brothers who have done some various tech related degrees back in Pakistan. How can they now, coming to Australia or having been here for however many years, can they pivot into like an AI or digital career in Australia? I know you spoke a little bit about doing certain courses online. Are there any specific courses or specific roles they can take on or specific skills they can develop? If you can tell us a little bit about that, and I apologize again if
Yeah.
it's repetitive.
So this discussion is about people who are already here in Australia. I mean, have been working in the
Yeah, they're
industry for
already
a very long
here.
time.
Yeah, let's say
Yeah.
they're already here, or they've just done a degree and just come to Australia, or you
Yeah.
know,
I think there are two things.
mostly fresh graduates or
Oh,
people.
okay. So there are a few things that you need to do even as a fresh grad. Familiarize yourself with cloud. What are the
Mhm,
cloud platforms? For example, Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Cloud.
mhm,
There are a few more as well. You don't have to jump into all at the same time. Pick one
mhm,
and master yourself in one. But in cloud, there are many fields within it. And if you're specifically trying to go into AI, and let's say because I have specialty within AWS, I can talk about it a bit more. So what you can do is start doing some certifications. In Australian market, whether I like it or not, certifications have a lot of worth,
mhm.
and that sort of gives employer that bit of sense of relief that you have done something in that field that you're claiming in your resume. And so you do some certifications. If you're interested in AWS has a complete pathway. Whether you want to go networking side, whether you're going to go security side, whether you go AI side. So they have a
Mhm,
complete pathway on their website, how you can go towards that pathway and what certifications you need to do.
mhm.
But we make sure your job actually aligns with it. I've
Okay.
seen many people over the years. I only have two or three certifications with AWS,
Mhm,
and that is only because I had to do them.
mhm,
If it comes to me, I will never do the certification because I'm
mhm.
more into going in depth. So I feel like certification, they
Okay.
touch at the surface level.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, but I've seen many people who do a lot of certifications, but after 6 months, they forget everything because their job doesn't align with it.
Mhm.
Or they're not doing anything on the side to take advantage of what they've learned from the certifications. So align your goals with your certifications and take steps towards that. Because I know in my company as well, the people who have done probably 6, 7 AWS certifications, and they're not even working in AWS. And they've done
Okay.
that.
Mhm,
Because certifications are like you can go do 5, 10 mock up exams and that's it. You can do the certification.
mhm.
Yeah. So you just sell that certification as well. That's what I'm trying to get to. Once you have
Yeah.
done that, start talking
Mhm,
about in your company
mhm.
that you have done that. So that when an opportunity comes, you get you're the first one in their mind. You know, out of sight is out of mind. So when you
Yeah.
start talking about it, you'll be in
Yeah.
their mind, and they'll approach you. And the other thing that I believe, and I give advice to any youngster, is that
Mhm,
there's nothing called, I haven't seen anything called luck.
mhm.
It's your hard work when it meets opportunity.
Absolutely.
Then it becomes luck because you need
Absolutely.
to first do the hard work, then
Yeah.
opportunity will come, and you'll be absolutely ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I felt, and that's my
Yeah.
experiences.
That's awesome. Jazakallah Marbai, just towards the end of the session, are there any final words of encouragement or advice that you think we haven't been able to cover yet for our young brothers, Ahmadis, or mature age students who are thinking of a career in tech? Any final
Hmm.
things that you'd like to mention that we haven't already covered, or anything you want to emphasize on?
One thing that I probably want to share, and that I struggled with throughout my career until I figured out a few of the things, and not that I figured everything,
Mhm,
is self-doubting yourself. Uh, that I kept on doubting myself whether whatever I'm doing does it make sense, does it aligns with the industry and all
mhm,
that. So I think persistence is the key, uh, and just keep yourself up to date. What's going on in the industry? And for example, AI. Most of the people they're living in a cloud at the moment. They
mhm,
don't know which because there's so much information out there, so many
mhm,
platforms out there.
mhm,
If they start doing platform A, they will start wondering whether it's good enough,
mhm.
whether I need to do platform B, whether I need to do C. So stick to one, reach to the end of it. You'll figure out few things. Then it's easier to switch. and don't jump too fast as well. Always take a step back, build on the basics first, and then take on it, because they'll have a right foundation to actually go a mile
Okay,
as well.
that's very good
Yeah.
advice. Jazakallah Amar Bhai for sharing your experiences and your story. That's very, very, it was a very interesting session. And just,
Jazakumullah for
it's
having me
always
as well.
good. Absolutely. And it's always good to, learn from someone like yourself and their experience, because going back to myself when I was a bit younger
Yeah.
as well, I think one thing we realized is that we never had that kind of understanding, whichever field we are trying to pursue or thinking of it, we never had any specialist in the field to kind of give us a bit of
Yeah.
an insight. We just kind of just go blind into it.
Yeah.
But it's good to be aware of other people's experiences who
Yeah.
already established in the field. So,
Yeah.
Jazakallah for your time and your
No,
advice.
thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah. We'll
Jazakumullah.
speak to you again. Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.